Now, we told you briefly last night about the collapse of the British motorcycle manufacturer in Norton. Well, tonight we can reveal far more about the reasons why. A joint investigation we've carried out with The Guardian has actually been underway for weeks, following dozens of complaints from customers who hadn't received their bikes and shareholders who couldn't cash in their pension investments. All this while, successive government-backed loans to and heaped praise on Norton, with ministers as recently as a year ago calling it a great business and an iconic brand.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And today what I thought I'd do is give a bit of an update on the Norton situation as far as we're concerned. You may know, if you follow this channel, that my wife ordered one of these Norton Atlas scramblers, actually the lower Nomad one that you can see here in front of us, and this was back in 2018. The footage you can see here is at the show at the NEC in November. As you can see, Norton had got a pretty good stand. We'd taken notice of the Norton brand because it's local to us, and we'd been going to their bike night, so we were aware of them. At the show here, we wanted to go along and have a closer look at the Atlas, and we liked what we saw, even though we couldn't actually sit on one of the bikes. But we were told that if we put a deposit down on them, it secured them, and we'd be able to go along to the factory and have a test ride, and if there was anything we didn't like, the deposit was completely refundable. So we thought there's not a lot to lose really, and it just got you to the front of the queue, basically, knowing that the manufacturing wasn't that fast. So it's Carol thinking, wow, looks a great bike. So we were really impressed, and we had a long chat with the owner here, Stuart, Garner, and very charming. Told us we could have the bike roughly for spring summer 2019, and we took him at his word. So just here is when we took a walk around the stand, and there's the V4 open, Norton's own V4 apparently, not an Aprilia, and this, I believe, was the first bike produced to a customer, and the customer lent them this to go on the stand, and they did fire it up. More about that later. They've been making the Commandos, and obviously they wanted to branch out and make the super bikes. They look gorgeous, don't they? Absolutely. That's the RR, I think, and the chrome one was the SS. I think that's how it worked. I'm not an expert on the super bikes because they were way out of our league, to be honest with you. Stupidly expensive, really. And that's a super light, and that had got the souped up version of the 650 engine in that was going in our Scrambler. Stuart Garner was telling us how he was going to take it to the Isle of Man and put it up against the super lights, and he was absolutely full of it, and at the time quite convincing, and I think he had quite a lot of other people convinced. It can't have just been us. Quite a few other people put their deposits down on the Atlas because they thought it was a great way of getting into the Norton brand. There you can see the bike designed by Henry Cole and his mate, and I think they made 50 of those and sold them. But anyway, I just put some pictures up of the bike night that we were walking around here. Basically, the situation is now that they're in administration. It's unlikely that we're going to get our 500 quid back from Norton, and it's a sorry situation all round. Obviously, as the weeks go by, more and more emerges about what's actually happened, and I'm going to put a link in the description. I urge you to head over to the Superbike website and read the article by a gentleman called John Hogan. It really does give you an insight of what's really been happening behind the scenes at Norton. Everything wasn't what they portrayed at Norton. They weren't making the amount of bikes that they said they were making, and really it's just an absolute mess. We were clearly deceived, along with lots of owners who were told that their bikes were in production when actually they weren't, and it subsequently turned out that lots of the superbike owners were told that their bikes were about to go into production, and they were asked to pay up, the full amount, and they paid this amount, and their bike actually wasn't in production. And when the administrators were in, these guys didn't have a bike. And do you remember that chrome V4 that was on the stand at the beginning of the vid? I believe that bike, along with several other owners' bikes that had actually received the bikes, some of those bikes went back under warranty, mainly for paintwork, and those bikes were still in the factory when the administrators were called in, and it's turned out that lots of those bikes have been stripped of their parts and put on to new customers' bikes that they were selling as new, even though items on those bikes were clearly second-hand because they've been stripped off these owners' bikes. I think it's an absolute disgrace. But John Hogan describes it much better. Best you go over and read what he's put. It's a fascinating insight. It's a sad indictment of what's happened at Norton and what Stuart Garner has done, and certainly what he's done to what was Spondon Frames. He basically bought one of the partners out there, and some of the things that happened there are just absolutely, just unbelievable, really. As far as we are personally concerned, I think we've got off reasonably lightly. Yes, currently we're £500, our £500 deposit down. We did pay it on a credit card, and we're hoping to get the money back from the credit card company, so fingers crossed, but they're not making it easy, so only time will tell. I mean, they did produce some great looking bikes. I mean, that does look gorgeous, doesn't it, that Norton Commando? I don't know, it's just a real shame for customers, certainly the pension holders. That sounds an awful situation there. And there's one of Mr. Garner's Aston Martins. Apparently he had a fleet of them, so that's yet to be found out where the money came from for those. See over here, I think I've seen a Spondon framed bike. Yeah, there you go. Ironic, isn't it, after what he did to Spondon, that one of those was parked up there. So I mean, it's yet to be seen what the administrators do, whether they manage to sell the company as a going concern. But I think with the amount of debt that they've got a very difficult situation on their hands, a difficult financial situation to unravel. I do feel desperately sorry for the pensioners. I don't know how they managed to get involved in this. I know there was some fraud taken place with the people that sold their pensions to Stuart Garner, but I don't know what the details are. But I really hope for their sake that it gets sorted out and they get some sort of reimbursement. I mean, some of them have lost tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds. Owners have lost £45,000 for these V4s. Commando owners £20,000, and It's shocking. It's shocking. It's shocking what he's done, and shocking how many people he's deceived, including us. You know, we'll stick our hands up. We've been deceived. All we can hope is justice prevails. I'm looking forward to following John Hogan's story, seeing what he's come up with. He's interviewed a lot of people. He started his investigation way before the administrators were in, and please do follow what he puts on Superbike website, and I just thank you for taking a look. I'll let you have a final look around and just say thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Cheerio.